on like a usual basis of like working, we're allowed to like have calls with each other and like work on documents with each other, send things to each other in like a very timely manner because of the Starlink on the boat.
See if I can mute that for a second.
But not only that, each one of these buoys is equipped with a
Okay, so we are currently watching the Starship live, or Starship 12 live flight. We'll see if this thing works. Well, hopefully it's working. It says it's streaming. It's telling me my encoder's not connected, but I know it's connected, so. All right, I think we're live. There we go. We'll just go back to the live stream here and see how it goes.
To Kate and Jake for the latest progress we're making at Cape Canaveral in Florida.
Thanks, Dan. Now, if we want to get to the moon and then Mars as fast as possible, there's really only one answer, and it's to launch a lot more rockets.
Yeah, and to do that, we're going to need a few more launch pads and support buildings, which is exactly what we're working on over in Florida. So originally built for Apollo and then the Space Shuttle, Launch Complex 39A has flown 126 Falcon missions since SpaceX reactivated the pad in 2017.
Yeah, I actually remember the day that we did that. I was able to host the live webcast for that first launch out of Pad 39A, and it was just so amazing to see that pad come back to life. And it's also exciting to see how today, almost 10 years later, the ongoing construction, as you see there on your screen, and the development that will bring a second launch tower to Launch Complex 39A. It's designed to expand our capabilities to support Starship launches in the future, while also continuing to support Falcon Heavy missions from the original Apollo shuttle Falcon launch tower.
Yeah, and we're not done. We're also building a Starship launch pad at Slick 37. And to support the uptick in future launches, there's Gigabay, a giant assembly and maintenance facility designed to prep Starships ahead of Florida launches. And when complete, this huge structure aims to hold 24 work cells in over 800,000 square feet of workspace. It's going to be a big building.
So much space.
So yeah, SpaceX's future in Florida is quickly taking shape with our very first launches on the horizon.
Exactly. A horizon that aims for regular trips to the moon. And speaking of moon, we've got another special guest for you today. Dan, I think the last time you and I were on a webcast with this person was Polaris Dawn, as he was performing the very first commercial spacewalk.
That's right, Kate and Jared. I don't know if today will be quite as cool as doing a spacewalk, but we're going to try our best to make it as exciting. Like, thanks for joining us here today, man. You had a heck of an entrance on the way in.
It's great to be here. Yep, certainly great to do a little bit of a flyby. I think they should accompany all the great rocket launches, and we certainly got a great rocket out there on the pad. But wonderful to be back, and no surprise, it's always changing here. It looks amazing.
I was going to say, it's been a couple of years. What was your impression flying in? It just the lay of the land.
Well, I think it was actually maybe 10 months ago. I was here slinging pizzas. I got a new job now, but it was. There's been so much that's changed even since then. Yeah, the facilities look amazing. All the housing that's coming in here, and of course, you got 2 orbital launch pads out there and a rocket that's just looking fantastic, especially from the air. It's good.
Yeah, you said you got a new job. It's been a slow start to your first 6 months. I mean, you only sent humans around the moon for the first time since the Apollo days. Bill and I kind of nerded out a little bit. Like, that was the last thing I worked on when I was at NASA, so seeing them go was just insane. Like, how's everybody feeling after the success of Artemis 2?
Well, I'd say I have the best job in the world, and I certainly work with an unbelievable team. I mean, as you know, that mission was a long time in the making, so I got to show up at the right time to see everybody put all that effort to put it in action. But what a great mission. Those 4 astronauts, you couldn't have had better ambassadors for humankind to the stars. I mean, they really brought us all along for 10 days, and we're getting ready for what comes next. We're going to start stacking Artemis 3. We got a lot of the hardware in the VAB already. We're hoping to even get out to the pad before the end of the year, do another wet dress. So,
all right.
And we're looking forward to seeing this thing fly, because hopefully at some point in the not too distant future, we're gonna join up in Earth orbit.
Yeah, I mean, what's coming up next, and ultimately, like, based on the moon, that's the big focus. Like, what's kind of the why? Like, why are we doing this for everybody?
Oh, well, I mean, and yes, we're certainly trying to get back to the moon, but what's coming up next? We're also building a moon base in parallel. And why are we doing that? Well, it's for a lot of the shirts I see around here, which is Occupy Mars. I mean, what a great opportunity. Go to the moon, return to the moon, build a moon base on the South Pole, interact with the water ice, right? Maybe work on some of those skills we're going to need when we're 4 days away from home, or what we might need someday when we're 9 months away from home. But we got other things coming up, too. You got Nancy Grace Roman. That telescope's going to launch later this summer. There's a lot of great, exciting things going on at NASA right now.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, SpaceX, we're custom built to try and make life multiplanetary. We're super honored, excited to be part of this entire Artemis program. Really excited to see Starship, sending people to the moon, all of the different pieces working together. It's going to be a really exciting future.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me here. It's great to see everybody. Again, I know a lot of hard work leads up to a moment like this, so we're all rooting for you, and we're looking forward to meeting up next year in Earth orbit.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you jump back in there. Got about 4 minutes to go. Toss it back down to Kate and Jake.
I wonder if he
I think it's safe to say we could listen to you guys yap about the moon pretty much all day. It's so inspiring to hear about the future of exploration on the moon. And if you caught the show yesterday, you also heard some more future space exploration news.
Yeah, that's right. From-2 mission commander Chun Wang will be one of the first humans to become an interplanetary traveler. Don't think I've ever said that word before. While also joining Starship's first mission to fly past the moon.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Amazing. In fact, that Dragon capsule that
So I'm going to mute them for a second while I talk. So the big changes on this ship, they are doing a new design of the first stage, a new design of the second stage. The first stage has a completely new internals that should help it work a lot smoother. It's a brand new pad we're seeing here. So if you're seeing I don't know if you're seeing my mouse here, but it's a brand new pad. The ring here, which is going to be a hot staging ring because they fire the second stage engines while the first stage is still running to get the second stage spooled up. In the previous generation, they had to eject that ring afterwards, but this one will just ride it all the way back down. So they lengthened the Starship as well, so it has a little more fuel in it. And there's a brand new launch pad we're flying on as well here. So brand new launch pad, redesigned because the old one was the first attempt. It didn't have the best water deluge system, but they did some adjustments. This one was designed with all the lessons they learned from the first one in mind. Let's turn them back
Just
on.
kind of harden the area and get it ready for launch. We're going to peek inside, hopefully see the engines do a little wiggle as we do our final steering check. That'll happen at T-minus 100 seconds, and then after we get through T-minus 40. If you tuned in yesterday, you're very familiar. If we need to hold, we can go into what's called rapid recycle, essentially, where we can hang out at T-minus 40 seconds.
A little bit extra fuel that
we're only going to hold if there's an issue, not currently tracking one. They can pop up after we pass T-minus 40. But right now we're looking good, hopefully going to move right past that.
And then once we do pass T-minus 40 seconds, a number of events will occur in quick succession. That is when the QD vent gate, or quick disconnect vent gate, will clear the gas commodity lines that connect the pad to the vehicles. Both the ship and the booster will configure their comm systems for flight and will rapidly run leak checks on gas and fluid tanks.
Come on, Richard.
And the booster goes to internal power, and its engines will get their final priming for launch, while the ship's engines begin their ascent bleed profile and arms the automatic flight safety system.
Yeah, and once we pass T-minus 40 seconds, we still have the ability to rapidly recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds.
Looks like we might be getting some engine wiggles here, as Dan mentioned earlier.
Those are all Raptor 3 engines, brand new engine design, much more streamlined than the old ones and much more powerful. It took off about 1,000 pounds per engine,
that they can steer.
And
yeah, that's definitely right.
33% more
and Flame Diverter on Pad 2 activates at around T-minus 17 seconds and enters what is essentially the point of no return at T-minus 10 seconds. If we have a hold close to T-minus 17 seconds, there's a chance we could recycle, but the closer we get to T-minus 10, the lower that chance becomes. We just heard we're at T-minus 1 minute.
Yeah, so at this point in time, we're going to stop talking. We're going to let the rocket take over and listen to some amazing pad sounds of the first flight of Starship version 3.
Put my headphones fully on. Richard, you in, buddy?
All right, we are holding. We were just waiting for the fuel pushbacks to complete into the prop farm. We did hear that did just complete, so expecting them to reset that hold shortly. Clock, the hold is reset, clock is rolling.
35 seconds and counting.
Flight directors go for launch.
Richard, I see you're in the chat, but I can't hear you, so. Yeah, I see you lighting up, I just don't hear anything. Oh, I see, it's going through the wrong thing. Let me send it through. Okay, speak now. I can hear you now, which means 10, they could probably hear you 9, on the stream, so.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, ignition.
Ignition. It's fine, and for some reason, like...
We have liftoff.
Hang on, I gotta figure out why I can't hear you. No, I can hear you, but I can't figure out why the, stream can't hear you. But it's flying. It didn't blow up. We are on our way.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
Let me see if I can figure this thing out. Let me...
All right, we are T plus 30 seconds into flight. Seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor 3.
I'm almost there.
Okay, now they can hear you, so.
Ascending over the Gulf now, coming up on maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Yeah, we have.
Maybe I'll get home in time to see booster separation. Or stage 1 separation, I guess.
Yeah, we're at about 1 minute into flight still, so you got a little bit of time for a stage step, but...
A little over a minute into flight now. Vibrations.
I just got a park
at Star Factory as we continue to watch Starship Flight 12 arc out over the Gulf. The next
all engines are running good, which is a good sign for the new Raptor 3s.
Booster props.
Yeah, that is good. Those things look
our version of Miko,
ridiculous.
Most engines cut off, so we're going to shut down all but 5 of the Raptor engines on the booster.
This launch needs to go perfectly because they need to start working on their fucking HLS.
6 engines on ship.
Yes, and also SpaceX is about to do an IPO, so they really need it to go perfectly.
Those are going to retract inside
oh, they lost an engine.
Yeah.
Ring, kind of
that's not good.
Them.
Not catastrophic, but not good.
Not catastrophic. Still flying on 32 of the Raptor engines, but again,
given that their last
let me get to the computer.
All right.
6 engines on the ship are going to ignite.
Ow, that was my
a little bit
freaking...
different of I
have a bunch of shit in the car, but I'll...
on version 3. Essentially, those 3
unload that stuff later.
First.
Oh, are you running out to the store?
Almost immediately after, just one of those
I did a bunch of
stuff
today.
Ignite, and that's going to give the booster a bit of a kick.
The rest of the engines are all good, so I'm sure they're going to be investigating why they lost one because the last few flights didn't lose any. And we got stage SEP.
Damn, I missed it.
We're through Miko.
Looks like they got 5 engines running. I don't remember if it's supposed to be 5 or not. They relit some, but I don't know if it's all the ones they wanted to relight.
Successful hot staging separation.
It looks a little off-center for the engines that are relit.
We're not seeing as many booster engines ignite as we expected for boost back.
What?
Is this on YouTube?
Yep. Engines lit
well,
ship.
no. This is on SpaceX's website. I got the stream going on.
Shutdown.
They don't stream on YouTube.
The booster was planned to essentially head into the Gulf for a splashdown, but it has shut its engines down early on into boost.
Oh, that's not good. The booster shut its engines down early, and Starship, the ship is one of its vacuum engines are not running.
The RVAC, so we're now running on 5 engines on ship.
That's not good.
We do have engine out capability, so it's going to continue.
Watch on X? I don't want to watch on X.
You should be able to watch it on their website. That's how I'm watching it.
You got booster on the left there, ship on the right.
Back for this.
I'm watching it.
Ship avionics
We're not planning on bringing the booster back.
Is right side of the screen the lower stage?
Right side of the screen is the lower stage. It is spinning. It shut down its engines early. Something is definitely going wrong with it. They were not trying to catch it in this flight, though.
All right, so we're about 3 minutes.
They're not trying to catch it back at the spaceport. They are trying to catch it.
Just a reminder.
Not at the spaceport. They are trying to do a soft landing in the ocean.
For about 8 minutes and change.
Slightly, as we do have one engine out, running on one fewer.
They got backup parachutes in case the engines don't work?
No, they're not going to recover this.
We do have one engine out, running on one fewer RVACs.
They haven't recovered the ship in a while. They're just trying to...
I was reading something literally this morning that was saying that they were going to try to recover it.
Again, continuing to watch. So booster.
From what I was reading, they're not. They or I think it's also they were saying on stream earlier.
That we expected. Are continuing to get some
clear
views from it, though.
Sea space, everything
down somewhere
for these launches.
Yeah, the boost. This says the booster's primary test objective will be exceeding a successful launch, ascent, stage separation, boost back burn, and landing burn at an offshore landing point in the Gulf.
Yeah, so they're testing like a full landing procedure, like because they're gonna try to do like a hover right over the water, and then they're just gonna shut the engines off and let it sink.
Right,
but they're testing like the full as if it were landing on the pad, just doing it over water.
5 minutes. Ship continuing to fire.
Standing by for callouts, making sure ship's on its planned trajectory. Again, we are planning a suborbital trajectory.
They're losing altitude.
Standing by for callouts, making sure
the
ship's
first
on
stage
its
is losing
trajectory.
altitude.
Again,
we don't see the altitude of the second stage.
Suborbital trajectory for the ship
giving
today.
us some views as it continues to make its way back down towards the water.
Yeah, if you see on the bottom of the screen, they show which one is the Super Heavy and which one is the Starship.
5.5 minutes in flight. Kate, Jake, you guys with me? It looks like boosters starting to come in hot.
All right, so a little over
we
5.5
had
minutes
the opportunity to stand outside to watch launch, and wow, that was incredible.
Boosters vibrating a little bit on that reentry.
I was actually
that was incredible.
Or the whole stack.
This isn't making it.
No,
really
it's
loud,
not.
Really shaky, and I was actually surprised how fast the booster got off the pad or the whole
Yeah,
stack.
I know those engines have a new
Absolutely.
restart
So
system than the old one did, so maybe that had an issue as well.
Making its way into
But it doesn't look like anything blew up.
Oh, it looks like they're firing.
Healthy chamber pressures on 5 out of 6 ship Raptor engines.
Oh.
Great news there for Starship.
Oh, yeah, they've got, it looks like,
maybe,
or is that just, yeah, oh, there's fire.
Back to the tower.
There was fire.
Once again, we were
having it land in the Gulf.
Yeah, it didn't slow down enough.
It tried. It gave its best.
Land in the Gulf.
And it looks like the booster ended its mission
I
there.
see on the bottom there. They showed one engine relit, I think.
Yeah, they planned to light one engine in space.
No, not on the Starship, on the booster. It shows on the bottom left there that one engine was lit.
Yes, we also heard good chamber pressures as well on
one of
those
the Raptor
engines that are
vacuum
lit.
engines.
There's
currently
engine
out, but that's okay. Ship is continuing on.
Of the RVAC, one of the Raptor
amazing views of planet Earth there in the background.
That's okay. Ship is continuing on.
Yeah, I love the S39 decal there.
They're barely in space.
They're still firing though. I really should remember the speed for
gives the ship a little bit of
orbital
character.
for a Starship.
And again,
I just can't
all
remember
these
right
great
now.
views brought to you by Starlink, of course.
Earth orbital speed is like 22,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, but they got it in kilometers an hour down there.
Our electronics team.
They're nowhere close to orbital speed, and they're only doing a suborbital trajectory, right?
Camera electronics team.
Yeah, but I think they try to go for like a mostly orbital
to
speed.
get these upgraded cameras.
Oh, that's a
They're
good
losing
shot.
altitude.
You can see those 3 center engines
fire up on
the
booster
RVACs
for that
continuing
landing
to
burn
fire.
before
Yeah,
we
but
lost.
it's fine to
We
lose
did
altitude
see
because
at
they're
least
still
a couple
increasing in
engines
speed.
fire
They're
up
way
on
above
booster
the
for
Kármán
that
line
landing
right now.
burn before we lost
We'll
contact with
see
it.
if the burn extends a
We
little
should
bit.
have just a little.
I'm a little worried
over
of what's
20
glowing
seconds
in
to
the
go.
engine
We'll
bay
see
because
if
I don't
the
think
burn
anything should be
extends a
glowing in
little
there.
bit.
More to account
For the
for
engine out,
the one
essentially,
engine
you
not
can
being lit.
run your engines a little bit
So
longer,
right now we
throttle
are
up a little bit
standing
more
by
to
for
account
Seago.
for
Yeah, that
the
one engine not being
engine
lit's got to be
being lit.
problematic because that's throwing
So
off the
right now
center of
we are
thrust.
standing by.
Yeah, but they do
for
have.
Seago.
They were saying they have engine out capability, so they should be able to make it to their planned location with the other engines.
Are continuing to go a little bit
Much like the
longer.
shuttle had that.
Yeah.
And again, we are continuing to go a little bit longer.
Wow, my stream is definitely behind. I'm looking over at the over at my YouTube stream on the other side, and it's like way behind where it should be for.
5 engines still burning on ship.
coming up on T+9.
We are coming up on T+9 minutes.
Well, the good news is nothing blew up.
That is a good news. I'm still a little worried on the engine bay, but the engine bay looks better than it did before.
Shut down.
Oh, they just called shutdown, I think.
Shut down.
And starting to see shutdown.
There they go.
RVACs have shut down. Sea levels are shut down.
That didn't look good.
No, I think it's they're meant to swivel a little bit when they shut.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Something's.
The ship orbited.
Looks like something's leaking.
Seeing if we can
Sometimes that's part of the shutdown system that happened on the old flights
ship
too.
Orbit insertion.
Pretty much
shut down again. We did run longer as we were engine out. We were flying with 5 of those 6 Raptors.
There we go. Increasing altitude again.
Ship FTS is safe.
I mean, we've done that in Kerbal. We've gone up higher and we've started losing altitude and just adjusted our flight path to
True.
gain speed. All right, they've made it.
All right, well.
Now, I believe they still have an engine relight to test.
Engine relight. What I'm looking forward to is the they're testing more Starlink ejections through their little PEZ dispenser. But what I'm looking forward to in that is, unlike the last ones they did in the old ship, they actually got smart and stuck some cameras on these the last 2 Starlinks.
Yeah, I read about that.
So we can actually see it fly out.
Footage of Starship from them, but they're also all on suborbital trajectories.
Yeah.
Flaps moving here.
Oh, we got more heat shields on the flaps than we used
here
to.
in the lobby are certainly almost as loud as.
Yeah, they're testing more heat shields on this too, and they've simulated some of them being busted by painting them white.
They were saying earlier in the stream they didn't change anything on the heat shields, but so I don't know what they're testing. It's different.
We still have a lot more to go here.
They just painted them white.
Today. So all objectives are done on the booster.
I know. I heard that they want to try to get pictures of the heat shield when his cameras jettison.
So like I said, we're still standing by.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do like some spin maneuver right after it jettisons to
before
like
the next
see the bottom of the craft.
So we're going to continue.
Maybe.
We've got some amazing views here of the ship. Wow, it's just.
Or maybe they're going to have the cameras move.
Well, the camera's jettisoning off the opposite end of the ship, so the ship would have to turn for them to be able to see the heat shield. It would be like trying to see the
reminder, the objectives
heat shield of the shuttle from the top of the shuttle.
Not only included the separation that we saw, but we're also.
They can't move the satellite instead of moving
these are
the.
kind of just like dummy things, not actual satellites. They're just kind of
2 Dodger Dog satellites. That's what our internal teams refer to as our newer satellites. We saw a preview of those earlier. We should see those deployments here in a little bit. We're also hoping to perform a relight of a Raptor engine as well.
Yep, that's exactly right. And the relight will look a little bit different this time. We're hoping to get a little bit of a longer duration. Of course, we got to see once we get there.
Longer duration relight if it happens.
Won't actually be changing our orbit necessarily, but we're doing it more so as a technology demonstration.
For those of you that maybe just recently tuned in, you missed a pretty exciting almost 13 minutes.
Be something on the camera.
We had a liftoff pretty much on time, almost right exactly at 5:30 p.m. We did have a brief hold at the T-minus 40-second period, but we were able to proceed through that, and we saw a gorgeous liftoff. Jake and I were able to stand outside and witness that with all of our colleagues, and what a moment. I'll tell you what, it is a heck of a lot louder out here than it was at Ad Astra.
Absolutely. And a couple things I noticed on the way uphill today on the ship. So obviously it looks like we lost one of the RVACs on the way.
Car unloaded. Damn, I left my vape in the car still, though.
Good way to demonstrate our potential engine out capability there. So
exactly.
I think we actually saw the 3 gimbaling engines kind of gimbal over a little bit to compensate for that offset and thrust. So that was really cool. That's something I know the team's been, we've analyzed that since Flight 1 all the way back. So it's something that we've thought about quite a bit, and it was kind of cool to see it in action in real life today.
Yeah, absolutely. If you couldn't tell, Jake is on the Raptor team.
Yeah. But hey, one non-Raptor thing I noticed also back on the when we had the shot of the aft flaps, it's a little weird. We have tiles on the leeward side, so not on the side where we're going to see heating.
What's happening,
And
Trav?
you might be asking, why are we putting
So
tiles
they're
there?
just talking about the heat shield tiles right now. They're in
I
daylight
talked to some of our
right
heat
now.
shield engineers the other day.
Looks like they're still venting some stuff. I'll bet you they're venting from the main tanks,
the fact that we're seeing all
but not
these
from the header
tiles still
tanks,
on the
because the
flat
header
right
tanks
now
are
is
what's
really
they're
good,
gonna
'cause
use
that
for those
actually was
firing
one of our
tests, I think.
experiments where we wanted to test different connection
Are they?
methods,
They're re-landing Starship though, right?
on the
They're
way
gonna
uphill
land it
on
over in
ship,
the
so
Indian
actually
Ocean.
ascent. So
Yeah.
it looks like most,
to
if
recover,
not all,
right?
the tiles
No,
are
they
still
haven't.
hanging on
They
there,
don't
so that's
recover
actually
any
a
of
really
these.
good data point.
Looks pretty good to me.
That's stupid and
And once
cost
again, this view
prohibitive.
is
Well,
from the
they
side of
even the ones
Starship,
they've
which is
recovered, I don't think
basically
they've
the second
they might have
stage of
reflown
the
one
Starship
booster, but
vehicle
like
as a whole.
most of the boosters they've
This is
recovered,
one
they don't
of the
really do
flaps
anything with. They
on the
just
vehicle that
do like
helps to
scientific
control
tests,
its
but
position and attitude
they want to verify
as
everything
it is
works right
orbiting.
before they
And
actually
also
try to
helps to
recover it on
control
land.
during re-entry as well. That's a critical phase. I mentioned earlier that we're hoping to
Oh, that's cool. It's
deploy
flying
those
right over
Starlink
Sunset right
satellite
now.
simulators, as well as perform an in-space relay of a Raptor engine. If all of that
Oh,
goes
we're coming
well,
up on
we
payload
will be
deploy soon.
targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We heard from Suren.
The
on
cameras
recovery
on this
team
look a lot
little bit
better than the
earlier.
last
They are
ones,
standing
and
by
or like the
waiting,
stream quality too.
to
So I will
receive the
bet
ship that we
that
see here.
re-entry is going to look really good.
All right, let's send it upstairs. Dan, how's it looking?
Hey guys, we are looking good. It does look like we are within bounds of what we
Okay.
analyzed if we were down one of our RVAC
Are you back
engines.
in
Damn, they're
So I wouldn't call it nominal
What's
orbital
up?
insertion, but
They're venting
we're
heavy.
on a trajectory that we had analyzed.
Well, like I
and
said, I
it's
think
within
that's from
bounds.
their
So,
main tanks.
team's continuing to
We
work
will
through
end up
it with
skipping
that
the
engine
Raptor
out.
relay,
They're working some
for
through some
today,
steps
but
on the
it's
Oh, wow.
engines. We probably will end up skipping the Raptor relay.
deploy, at least
For
at this
today,
time.
but
So
it
very
sounds like we
dynamic
should
moments
still be
right
on
here with the
Skipping
ship.
the Raptor.
Payload deploy
Against space
at least
and
at this time. So
now
very
headed
dynamic
towards the other
moments
side of the
right
planet.
here
This
with the
flight's
ship.
not looking great for
But we do
them.
have it
I'm
in space.
hoping
It
that
is
the
on a trajectory
re-entry goes
now,
better,
headed
but
towards
it,
the other
like
side
it's
of the
not
planet,
bad.
and then
They
splash down
made
in
it to
the
space,
Indian
which is
Ocean.
better than some of their flights.
It's
A little
going to
bit,
start
then
to
we'll
get
brighten up
darker.
once
We're
we're on
heading
That's true, but
into
skipping an
orbital
engine
sunset.
relight, that's bad news bears.
So we're gonna have
We'll
darkness
see if
for
they
a
do
little
the
bit,
payload
and then
deploy.
we'll brighten up once we're on the other side.
Engine
of the planet,
failure, that was bad
and
news
hopefully looking
bears.
at some good daylight when we
Twice,
re-enter
2
into
engine
the
failures,
Indian
yeah?
Ocean.
So they had one engine failure, well, multiple. They had the single engine failure during ascent of the booster, and then multiple engines did not relight. Going to the Starship, we had a single engine failure during ascent there, and they're not doing a relight, so something is definitely wrong for the fact that they're not doing a relight.
Yeah. So, and then they weren't able to slow the booster down and do the landing procedure that they wanted to do with the booster.
Flight
Correct.
just now up with us. We did
So we're
see
little
a
over
liftoff right at the
17
top of
minutes
our
into
window.
flight. If you're just
Super
now
heavy
Coming up on
catching
payload
with us,
deploy.
we did see
Those
a
Raptor
liftoff right at
engines
the
got
top
through
of
a
our
successful
window.
hot staging.
They can't deploy
Super
while
heavy
venting
getting
this
off the
fucking
pad,
gas, can
initially
they?
lighting
Yes,
off
they
the
can,
three
because
of
they're
those
venting
Raptor
out of the
engines,
side,
got through a
and
successful
they're
hot
deploying
staging.
out of the top of the
Initially
rocket.
lit 6 engines on ship, had one
now
RVAC go
we're-
out. On
Just
the
seems
landfill,
risky,
but
'cause
still able to make
Even
it
if that's
into space.
minimal gas that they're venting
And
out of there,
right
that's going to
now
create
we're
thrust.
Trying to see if we are going
Right
to
on the
get
part of the
into
timeline
payload
when we
deploy
were
still.
expecting
Yep.
it.
They skipped payload deploy.
Coming
see
up
a
right
door.
on the
They
part
might
of the
do it
timeline when we
still.
were expecting it. You'd look
Looks like Hal
inside the
didn't wait.
Starship
Pez
there.
Oh, the
door
door's
is
open.
I see a door opening.
a reminder.
Okay.
We've got 22 deployable.
Like, they've got time. They don't
Looks
have
like
to deploy
Hal
right at
didn't
the
wait.
beginning.
Pez door is
20
open.
of those Starlink
Just a
mass
reminder, we've
simulators,
got
and then
22
two are
Yeah.
deliverables in the
dogs.
payload bay
We
today.
like to call them
20 of
internally,
those Starlink mass
sitting up their
simulators, and then
modified
2
V2
are
Starlink
copter
satellites.
dogs, so we like to call them internally.
Those are going to be
Sitting up their
testing a bunch
modified
of
Built a bunch
V2
of satellites to just
satellites.
fall back to Earth.
Well, they're not actual
Those are gonna
satellites.
be
They're just like mass
testing a bunch of
simulators.
components that we're planning
Yeah.
to fly on
cameras for another tech demo
Starlink
that we're
V3,
trying out.
and we've
on
also
this
got
flight.
them outfitted
We
with a number
definitely
of
I'm
cameras
picking up a little
for
bit of
another
echo from
tech
your,
demo that
from
we're
your
trying
stream you're
out
watching.
on this flight.
I'll
I'll move my
We
phone farther away.
definitely are looking for a way way that we can look at Starship
It didn't work.
Shield while it's still in space. you can kind of only see so much from the cameras and the flaps. You can't see.
I'm looking forward to those last two we see on the bottom because those have cameras on.
One of the ways you can do that is if you got something else.
Is it working? You still get an echo?
It's better now, yeah.
Okay, cool. I moved the phone really far away.
Satellites going out the door have a suite of.
The satellites pretty much just sitting on that tank too. You can see them, the dome of the tank there.
And so we've got
flashlights on them.
Oh, looks like something's moving.
We'll be at nighttime. They've got some powerful flashlights
Here we go.
on them to try and illuminate the ship's heat shield while we fly away from it. So
looks like it's skipping the bottom for now.
No, those will be the last ones that get deployed.
Yeah.
Actually, no, maybe no. These are these aren't the bottom. These are the top because it's stacked up. So the.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna. Yep. So they're moving that up, and then that first one's gonna get pushed out. You can see the chain moving, and there it goes. Can't really. That's the problem, though. They're deploying it at nighttime, so like I'm not sure what the camera's gonna see.
Yeah.
I would have put like some lights on the outside of Starship.
2 down, 20 to go.
Oh,
or on the
20.
Or on the.
As a reminder, that's one of the things that we upgraded in version 3. Kind of gave a little soup up to the Pez dispenser, so those satellites going to move out a little bit quicker than they did on previous Starship flight tests.
Oh, it's in stacks of 2?
So first 2 out the door, 2 more on their way out.
Do we have to cheer for every single one?
No, I didn't realize it was stacks of 2. I thought it was like 1 each or something. Or maybe they're like side by side.
Maybe. I don't know. He was saying the next 2 are on their way. So.
Yeah, it looks like they're side by side. So like there's one behind the other on each row.
All right, 4 down, 18 to go.
Flexing my basic math skills here today. Again, the majority of this stack, 20 of these 22
Flexing
satellites,
my basic math skills here today. Again, the majority of this stack, 20 of these 22 satellites, they're essentially just mass simulators, so they're roughly the same size as those Starlink V3 sats that we're hoping to fly later this year.
And from this top-down view, so you're looking down at the stack, those 2 satellites you see on the very top.
And from this top-down view, so you're looking down at the stack, those 2 satellites you see on the very top,
looks like the last 2 are actual functional satellites.
They've got a bunch of other deployables on them that we're going to be testing.
Well, I don't know if they're actual satellites, but they said they got stuff they're deploying on them. So
3 engineering
I would imagine they're actual satellites. You have to have communication, at least with communication systems and things, so that you can get your deployables to deploy.
True, but because it's suborbital, is it really considered a satellite?
Again, this very much a tech demo.
Now you're arguing semantics.
The satellite's going to kind of try and turn everything on, look back at Starship, and
it's a drone.
The primary reason we're trying to do this is to get some views of the heat
I mean,
shield.
The whole ship is a drone. There's no people on this.
Right. 2 more out the door.
2 more out
the
door, and I think that counts, or that comes up to 8 total.
Oh my.
As you can tell, the teams are stoked to see this demonstration happening. It's pretty incredible to see this happening live from space. Now, as we noted earlier in the show, but worth repeating, this Starship
your stream is ahead of mine because I can hear the text of the sound from yours before mine a little bit.
V3 satellites. Everything's V3.
Still hearing it?
I am. It's not as bad. It's just funny because I realize like you're about like 5 or 6 seconds ahead of me.
Now that is 20 times
I turned it down.
than each Falcon 9 does today. Incredible.
All right, I think that's number 10 going out the door.
I'm at T320.
What's up?
So I'm at T plus 2325.
Yeah, the camera view
I'm at 2320 now.
Is
so
basically right at the bottom.
You're about like 6 or 7
of
seconds
the payload
ahead.
Volume. So the kind of dome-shaped.
What's also impressive is just how thin these satellites are.
That's actually the top of the fuel tank.
I mean they're well again these are just mass simulators, but I'm pretty sure that the other satellites are.
An external camera that we have.
They're supposed to be the same size, so yeah.
Basically,
they're
the light through.
Well, I know these are bigger than the ones that they're launching now because they can't launch these ones on the Falcon.
We can see the Starlinks here.
But the ones on the Falcon are tiny too because they stack so much. But
well, that's they also don't do a ton.
True, they just retransmit internet.
As we mentioned, we have 20 of these Starlink simulator satellites.
They don't have power. The reason that they launch so damn many of them is because they're not super powerful relays either.
Dodger dogs here
but they do have propulsion systems on every one on the actual Starship or Starlinks.
Tech on them, some solar arrays, and those will be
because they have to.
Two that will be deployed today.
They have to be able to maintain their orbit for a certain amount of time.
And avoid obstacles.
I think Dan called them turbocharged or supercharged.
I wonder if they use ion engines.
They do.
It's definitely coming out much faster than our.
Those are just extremely, almost no fuel will give you thousands of meters per second of delta V.
But it's such a slow rate of thrust that the thrust-to-weight ratio is always really low.
Especially once we
over time they're great, but
up all the way with around 60 or so of these Starlinks, being able to deploy them fairly expediently, is going to be important for designing the overall mission profile.
Like we were saying on our podcast, I believe that they're going to be using ion engines for the nuclear rocket.
Fans of Starship may know that Starlink enables lots of unprecedented views.
As they get used, more research will happen, and maybe we'll be able to make them more powerful.
The dozens of cameras
True, or they'll come up with something even better, like maybe some other fuel or something.
Deployed in the Indian Ocean.
Theoretical,
Starlink also connects
solid
aerial
methane
cinematography units on the ground at Starbase.
Wait, solid? What, methane?
At other strategic camera
spots
around Texas.
What was the thing that was supposed to be in KSP2?
Maybe methane?
To tell the incredible story of Starship.
I'm trying to remember what ion engines use now. It's I think it starts with an X.
It's Xenon.
Xenon, yeah.
All right, we're getting low on the stack. It looks like we got 2 more of those simulators to go out, and then it will be time for our Dodger Dogs, those modified Starlink satellites. Just a couple of updates while we continue to watch payload deploy. Did get confirmation we're going to be skipping that relight of the Raptor engine, just due to everything that we saw on the way uphill. Those sea-level engines, we're going to use them.
How long until landing?
Though. They are still capable to be used for that.
I don't know.
So
they're still.
We'll still look to
Let me see. Are they still gaining altitude? We're at 193 now.
But no
to lose altitude.
Relight.
Well, I'm curious, like what part of the arc it's on. If it's still going up or going down.
No, it's going down now because it was at 194 before.
Headed out the door.
Yeah, but their speed's dropping really low. Like it's taking a while to go down.
And then coming up our Dodger.
Yeah,
dogs.
so they just passed
Starlink satellites.
I think what they do for these flights is they get up to orbital speed, but they don't get up to orbital inclination.
Starship. We're not going to get this video in real time, but we're going to try and turn it around.
Because now they're at 192, and they're speeding up.
So don't worry, if we get views of Starship from
which means they're coming down.
We will be sharing.
Here we go. Camera sats are deploying.
Let's see if they show them or not.
These will be exciting because again,
I think they said they might get the views later. They might not get them right now.
Getting our chance to test out some of the technologies for versions.
Like they might share them later if they can get them.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Right now the cam sats are deploying.
My basic math skills are failing now. All right, here we go.
I wonder if you're experiencing delay because you're in Florida and I'm in Texas.
Well, I'm in Georgia, so.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Maybe. It could be my internet. It could be, who knows.
We're standing by for Starship.
I've seen delay
serve the first Dodger Dogs to
between like devices within my own house before.
CamSat 1 is out the door.
Oh, that's a good view. They should have shown that so you can see the both of them
out the door. In this view,
they got flashlights on them.
The right side of the satellite, you see some bright white spots. Those are our flashlights beneath them.
They just said the CamSats have flashlights.
Yeah, I just caught up on that.
as it flies slowly.
Oh, they
away
turned them
from
on.
the
Fuck.
vehicle. And there it goes.
Oh, I see the flashlight. Oh, yep.
Let there be light.
Yeah, it almost looks like the light is just shining right at us there.
If you couldn't tell, we're pretty excited.
Yeah.
It is always sunny in space.
Always sunny in space, and that looks like an empty payload bay. So
Sure does.
That's exactly what you want to see there.
Oh,
That's
the doors
great.
are closing.
So yeah, with payload deploy complete. Oh, you can see the door closing there. All right, there we go. So yeah, with payload deploy complete, Starship will now close its...
I want them to give us some video of it.
I know.
Yeah, Starship,
Starting to drop
will
altitude a little faster, pick up speed a little quicker as well.
Coast around Earth all the way
to
the Indian Ocean.
Gravity
so
does
still
that.
a lot of major events to come today. Sounds like we're not going to hit that Raptor relight based on what Dan was saying, but after that, of course, we'll have the atmospheric reentry and splashdown.
So
and with that, we're going to go on another quick coast.
I wonder if they're going to try to relight
enjoy some
during
amazing space views and the space jams, of course. And we'll be back in a few minutes for Raptor relight. Excuse me, not for the relight,
like
but
they're not
we'll be
relighting now,
standing
but are
by
they going to
for,
relight during landing?
Atmospheric reentry.
Yeah, that's what they just said.
Let me mute my stream for a second. Can I?
It's gonna be like 15 minutes before freaking landing.
Yeah, the altitude's dropping, but it's dropping slowly. I mean,
I don't know that I'm gonna sit here and wait for that.
You don't want to see re-entry?
I mean, I do, but I don't want to wait.
Well, you can always drop off and come back. I mean, it's not that much time, but...
Yeah, true. This is just the boring part.
This, unfortunately, is the boring part because it's nighttime. At least in their early flights, they were launching at daytime so we could see the entire ship throughout the whole phase.
This is when, in Kerbal, I time warp.
Yeah, where's our time warp button for this?
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wait. We got some sunlight.
I think that's the flashlights.
Maybe.
What's that debris?
That might be ice coming off from stuff that was
Makes sense.
Coming out. I'm not too worried about the debris. I'm interested in the sudden movements of it because is something pushing it out quicker when it quickly goes past, or
I'm not sure.
I'm also not sure what that thing sticking out on the top of the Starship is there.
I'm not either. Okay, text me when atmospheric reentry starts.
Will do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's just you and me. I can turn the music back on. Yeah, I think Richard was right that it was the flashlights we were seeing there because it's too dark everywhere else. Now, the ship didn't spin, so they don't really have a great view of the heat shield, so I don't know what their plan is for that. So the Kármán line in metric is 100 kilometers, I believe. So they're still a ways up. They're about 75 kilometers away, 74 from the beginning of the Earth's atmosphere, where the line is defined. They're still in the very, very far reaches of the Earth's atmosphere right now. But we'll really start seeing the heating when that number at the bottom left there gets to about 100. Because the speed will also be rapidly increasing at that time until the atmosphere really starts slowing it down. I'm going to estimate now probably about 45-50 minutes. I don't know how much their trajectory had changed from losing an engine early on, so I'm not sure what the orange is we're seeing now, but it is not re-entry. We're not close to that yet, so it might just be... Well, actually, I couldn't tell you. Some gases, something being lit up by something. I know, very technical terms there. I couldn't tell you what we're seeing. The light might still be from the Starship or Starlink satellites they jettisoned, but they might also be from sunlight. Maybe they're crossing over into sunrise already. But they're over South Africa. It's probably the middle of the night over there right now. Usually their current launch profile, they cross into sunrise right about re-entry time. Oh, we got some footage. I'll let Richard know. That's pretty cool.
All right, so surprise. Looks like our cameras did work. We've made contact with both of those satellites. We're going to roll that back again. Again, this is a view from one of those satellites as we deployed. It looks like this was from the last one out. Flashlight turning on, taking a look at Starship in space. The way this system is set up is the satellites are essentially recording it and making contact with our Starlink constellation and then transferring that video back down to us on the ground.
Maybe a new fueling system, but it just seems odd to stick out that much. Like, I would expect that to be more fueling.
So aside from just being really cool, this was our test to try and develop a free flyer that we could fire outside of Starship's payload bay, look back at it, and then do essentially a pirouette with Starship to get a look at the heat shield, where it's going to be really important when we start bringing these things back for a catch, which we are hopefully doing in the not too distant future, as they are intended to be fully reusable. But this will give us an opportunity to look at the heat shield while Starship is still in space. So there was a glimpse. We'll see if we get any more video down from those satellites. But I mean, that's one we've been chasing for a while. So really cool to see it come to fruition here on Flight 12. All right, coming up on 40 minutes into the flight, and we should start hitting the reentry period in the next 7 minutes or so. You'll start to see a light show building up. As we had talked about, we did skip that on-orbit relight of the Raptor engine. It was not needed for our trajectory or anything. We are on this suborbital trajectory to splash down in the Indian Ocean.
Letting him know what's going on.
We are going to attempt a landing burn. We'll see how they perform when we get there. And just a reminder, we are going to be stressing the ship on the way in. We're going to intentionally do a maneuver where we're going to kind of pitch the nose up and deploy those bottom flaps to really put a lot of pressure on them. So we'll see how it does through that maneuver, and then we'll be doing kind of a final banking turn before we get to a landing burn. So all that coming up in a few minutes.
You can see some of the
light show should start beginning.
But you're seeing down there some lights from nighttime. Looks like South Africa. Maybe these are just gas jettisons that they're picking up. I don't think anything's on fire or anything, so I really couldn't tell you what we're seeing right now. It's definitely a light show. We're not at re-entry yet. Nothing is exploding. It might look like it, but it's not. Let's see, it's probably going to be about an hour flight total, given like with re-entry and everything. It'll probably take about an hour to get fully back to the Indian Ocean. This is definitely the slow part of the stream. So if anyone is watching and has any questions, feel free to throw it in the chat. And I will do my best to answer them. Are we hitting the upper stages of the atmosphere? We might be. So it looks like we're getting a wake off the back of the ship. So I'm gonna say re-entry is starting. We're about the Kármán line, and at the speeds it's going, we are probably starting to see how well the ship does on re-entry this time. Hey,
here we go!
Welcome back. You watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just crossed below the Kármán line. We are at 98 and falling quicker. We're definitely starting to see some atmospheric reactions with the back of the ship now.
Oh yeah, I see that. You know, the atmosphere extends like another 30 kilometers up above the Kármán line, right?
It does, but I think the Kármán line is where they consider it thin enough where they consider it space, I think.
Yeah, but you can't have anything within that. You can be above the Kármán line and still in a very unstable orbit due to drag.
Yeah.
I would love to see re-entry of this thing from those two satellites.
I wonder how far away they are, because think if they jettisoned out, they're probably constantly, from the acceleration push, constantly moving in a different direction at different orbital planes. So they might be close enough where they might still be able to point their cameras at it.
Yeah, but it won't be too long before the drag and the heat destroys them.
It really depends what angle they come in at, because if they come in at very, like, I don't know what the right word is, but
angle of attack?
Yeah, angle of attack, there won't be much drag. They're going to keep up their speed, and they'll probably surpass this thing, because this thing's going to slow down much quicker than they will.
That's true. But also, would they be able to transmit their footage?
Well, that really depends on... I'm assuming they probably have Starlink antennas on them for transmitting.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool. You saw there was like a little puff of jettison there when they jettisoned some stuff, and it flew right up because it was caught in the stream. We're probably gonna start getting some glow soon from everything, because we're definitely dropping. Our speed's starting to fall now.
Yep. Slowing by like a kilometer or falling at like a kilometer and a half a second right now.
Yep, and it's gonna pick up speed rapidly. I wonder if so normally they have like a buoy where they will try to pick their landing spot. I don't know, because of that engine burn, if they're off their trajectory.
Yeah, they very well could be.
Yep, we definitely got some plasma forming now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're losing some video feed. It's getting a little fuzzy.
Welcome back to Starship Flight 12, the first test flight of Starship version 3. As Dan mentioned earlier, we were able to make contact with the modified satellites just shortly after deployment. And
really dropping speed now.
We got some sweet views
yes,
of
we
those
are.
sats looking back at the ship. Pretty cool to see.
Yeah, those views were incredible.
All right, come on, let's turn this thing up to the 4x for re-entry, right?
The ship is re-entering the
Yeah,
Earth's
right.
atmosphere. This is the plasma starting to build up on the exterior of the vehicle.
Now,
we do not plan to recover the spacecraft today,
meters
but
in the
rapid
air.
and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, but that speed is dropping very
and
quick now.
Re-entry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship's systems perform.
What is that in meters per second?
Re-entry is an extremely demanding portion of flight where we essentially have to scrub
26,000?
all of the energy we use to launch the rocket back off in reverse. So the 18 million pounds of thrust that we had off 33
That's
of those
260,000
just a little
kilometers an
now,
hour.
and then another,
meters an hour
We're now
divided by
undoing
60.
all that energy here via aerodynamic braking, essentially. And of course, Starlink is a big part of it, as that's what allows us to actually gather this data. And
I was told they had more cameras on board this time for re-entry, but I'm not really seeing them push to many different
really
cameras.
The main reason why we're doing these
Yeah,
flight tests.
4,300
so
meters per
provides
second.
us just one more path to collect that data.
Screaming!
That ultimately allows us to rapidly iterate Starship's design.
Now, if ship manages to make it all the way through re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at these hypersonic speeds, which is basically more than 5 times the speed of sound. Now, we do anticipate that it might be a little bit of a spicy re-entry, so we'll see how far we get. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications.
All right, so what's on your bingo card for this re-entry?
Re-entering at or around orbital velocity.
We're going to lose visual at some point. I'd say probably around 50 kilometers altitude.
Roughly 5
what
miles
makes you say that?
At those speeds, the spacecraft
the
is
plasma.
moving through the atmosphere.
But they've kept visual on previous flights, so maybe not.
Forming around the vehicle.
Maybe not, but
although the plasma looks really cool, it does distort some communication frequencies. So it's not uncommon to
they're gaining altitude again. What the fuck?
Blackouts in communication.
Oh, it's probably like the shuttle and everything, how they kind of like glide through
Starship
the atmosphere.
Is designed to land on Mars, where there are no runways or other humans to help.
And that's
out.
why they're adjusting their
that's
fins on the top and bottom to kind of
propulsive
steer
landing
through.
Instead of a more traditional means like parachutes.
Yeah, to allow them to slow down while the atmosphere is still a little bit thinner.
A more rapidly reusable rocket.
Yeah.
You don't want to hit the thickest part of the atmosphere at fucking 24,000 kilometers an hour.
No, you do not. So yeah, they're dropping rapidly here.
That means the ship
has
speed's
definitely still going down, even though our altitude's going up.
Aerodynamic loads that it will experience as it returns.
I wish we had like that side view profile you get from like your map in Kerbal, where you can see how high above the atmosphere it is,
and you
like
can see in the bottom left right
where
now
your arc is going to end at.
23,500 kilometers per hour speed. That's just a crazy number to think about. But as we keep progressing in the mission,
still going up, but it's going
we are
up
going to
slower
hear
now.
a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. So transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, kind of in that Mach 0.8 to 1.2 range. And for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but mostly fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85. And after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out when Starship is subsonic. This refers to speeds that are much less than the speed of sound, so at this point in the flight, ship's velocity will be slowing down.
Yeah, we're losing altitude again.
We definitely have a crowd still here in the lobby of SpaceX headquarters down here at Starbase, Texas. Everyone is, loves watching ship re-entry. It's always such amazing colors. This must be what it feels like to be one of those praying mantis shrimp or mantis.
Lady, it's not billions. It's just like 122.
The ones that see and billions of colors. This is the closest I feel to being one of those.
Yep. I think one other thing that's cool to point out right now is Look in the bottom right, you can see where we are on a globe there. We're squarely in the Indian Ocean already, and we've only been flying for 53 minutes. Yeah. So pretty crazy. We went all the way from Texas to the Indian Ocean in less than an hour.
Yeah. She flies pretty fast.
She flies very fast.
See, I wouldn't mind taking one of those flights, like on one of these, go visit you in Texas a little quicker.
It would be pointless to go from Georgia to Texas on one of these things.
It'd be fun, though.
I mean, yeah. Now,
right,
if it
so
was
the light show continuing,
Georgia to California,
through the period of peak heating, and we'll be looking
Texas
at
to Europe,
peak pressure coming up in the next couple of minutes. The next 10 minutes are probably going to be the spiciest.
That's what I would be excited for if these things become viable.
We are going to be doing
would be being able to go to fucking
ship
Europe in an hour.
Do a maneuver where we kind of
I would love to
kick the nose up to fully deploy those
even if they just start doing like supersonic
really
aircraft again like the Concorde.
A good test of the structural strength of that part of the
they
ship.
stopped the Concorde though because people were complaining about the sonic boom.
2. We're going to try.
Well, that's why
NASA
is testing new aircraft designs to limit or to lower sonic boom
propellant in our header tanks up in the nose. And so that's going to put a little bit of extra stress on those.
Let's just break physics.
Flaps as we come in.
Well,
so
they have I think the more aerodynamic or something it is, the less you really hear it.
So that will be another watch item. We did skip that in space.
Well, the other thing is if they got to cruising altitude and then did it at 30,000 feet,
of those sea level engines,
how audible is it going to be?
For a landing burn,
much less audible, I think.
We entered the entry period in a good attitude. So hopefully making our way to the target.
And I think people today would be less pissy about it.
That Starship recovery team standing by.
Yeah, who knows? Hey, we've had 7 views so far this whole stream, so I'll take that.
From
hell yeah.
So
someone's watching now. I don't know who.
Couple of minutes.
Thanks for your viewership, whoever you are.
On the way in.
Yes, thank you. I know my cousin was watching earlier, but I don't know if he still is.
Engine chill has started, so. Essentially
what that means is
we are
closer
prepping the landing engines by getting them down to temperature ahead of that landing.
Yeah, they're still a ways up because they were gaining altitude for a while, but now we're definitely losing altitude a little quicker.
And on a lot of our previous flight tests, we've been removing a bunch of the tiles. If you've watched those, we were really intentionally trying to push
plasma
beyond
build
its
up
limits.
on that piece jettisoning out on the front there.
Had, basically a hole get punched into the liquid oxygen tank that you could see when we did the landing burn into the ocean, and this ship was still able to make it. But right now we're really going to be testing the structural strength of these flaps on the way in. Again, this is a flight test. We're trying to intentionally find where our limits are.
Hopefully we don't have any burn through on the flaps like they had in earlier flights.
A whole bunch of tiles. I think Jake talked about it earlier. We bonded some additional tiles to the leeward or kind of the metal side of Starship to see how those different bonding techniques would hold up.
Greenish blue.
And looking like we've got quite a bit still attached.
I wonder if that means that something's burning that shouldn't be burning.
Yeah, and as
I don't know. They're not losing altitude anymore.
Here we are at about Mach 16.
This little maneuver is going to cost them 84 years.
Extremely fast.
Something's definitely sparking off, and so something's ablating off, and I don't know if it's
amount
supposed
of our
to.
Speed already.
Yeah, I mean that could just be
a little less than
plasma
60 kilometers
from the air.
It could be, but
are their shields ablated?
They're not. So
interesting.
Because they're supposed to be they're like the shuttle tiles in a way, like because they're like tiles to go on. So
I wonder if it's the white paint.
8 minutes away from
maybe
targeted landing and splashdown.
I wonder if it'll look
again,
orange on the bottom
again.
again.
Going to start really.
Ship is approaching the end of the peak heating region.
Yeah, that's just plasma, Trav.
Okay.
Just heard the call out
from the air.
The end of the peak heating, so the highest.
I wonder why it looks like
the Starship's going to see during
like
its
pieces
re-entry.
coming off.
Because it's inconsistent.
Hmm.
Because they're still so high up, the atmosphere is still relatively thin.
They're not as high up as they were. They're only 57 kilometers now.
This camera angle changes.
No, there's definitely pieces coming off. You can see it in the back.
Forward flap on Starship.
There's definitely little pieces coming off and still burning. You can see it when in the back of the ship.
Hardware helping to steer the ship down for
That's not
its precise
good.
landing in the Indian Ocean.
I don't see any burn through yet, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, that is just a really cool, kind of cool piece of perspective there. I know some people say it makes them a little seasick, but I definitely love it. It makes it feel like you're really riding along with the ship on the way down.
All right, altitude is dropping again.
Yeah, and aside from just looking cool, all these camera views providing just really critical data on how the heat shield, how the flaps themselves are holding up. That's why we've got
we got a G meter. We got 1.3 Gs right now,
all
which
around the ship,
surprisingly
so
low for a reentry.
how they hold up. There's some internal.
The one on my screen showing 1.2.
And we're getting
you're a little
all
faster
this
than me,
video
so
back via Starlink, even as we're just
it's dropping.
shrouded in plasma. We're able.
I wonder
to
what it was when it was higher because it wasn't showing
enough.
But I wonder what the peak G load is on a ship this big.
Blue ocean and sunlight you're seeing just
I would think that it'd be way higher than just 1.2.
Daylight, hopefully splashing down in the next 6 minutes or so in the Indian Ocean. We've still got a couple maneuvers.
It probably depends on their
lined
angle of
up
attack
where
on
we're
how
gonna be really
much they're being
stressing the
slowed down.
ship, so
Ship has passed through the peak heating
They just said
region.
that peak
External
heating is
temperatures are
over.
coming
That's
down.
crazy.
Wow, that is incredible news. As Dan mentioned,
There, the
we were
G-force is
expecting
going
this
up.
re-entry to be super spicy, but excellent news that we're now past that period of peak heating and that now the external temperatures are starting to decrease.
I would love for them to show like temperature probes and
Those
what they're
heat
seeing
shield
at
tiles there on
temperature
the
for different
belly of
spots on the
ship,
craft.
really doing a
Yeah.
ton of work
Up to 1.7 G.
burn off all of that inertia that
But we're
the
also in
vehicle
the
had,
sunrise now, so we can see
prior
everything.
to re-entering the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
1.8.
you can tell by the G meter.
I think the shuttle
down
got
the
up to
bottom right
3.
that we're starting to pick up a couple more Gs here, so we're definitely entering.
I mean, on
the
launches,
thicker
doesn't it
part
get
of
up
the
to like
atmosphere where
7?
We're scrubbing off all that energy, like Kate's saying.
It depends on the ship. Shuttle only didn't get that high. I think
all right, just
SLS
about
might have
5
gotten that
minutes
high.
or so to go. We're coming up shortly.
Saturn definitely got that high.
I know that they pushed the
maneuver
limit
where
of
we're
what the
gonna-
human
it's
body can
affectionately
actually
called
handle
the
with some of the
flap
launches.
where we're going to kind of
2
pitch
Gs.
the nose up
Yeah,
on
much
the
more in the
ship, and
earlier
you're gonna
days.
see those aft flaps, the ones in the very bottom, fully deploy.
Yeah, we're
G's
definitely
going-
not as hot as we were.
Ship is at peak dynamic pressure.
We're below 10K kilometers an hour.
And we're now at
Really
peak
slowing
pressure.
down.
Oh, we're tilting.
Ship flap load test has started.
Oh, they're gonna just see how much they can handle. That'll drop your speed quick. I didn't see any burn through on the fin, so that's really good.
Yeah, I didn't either.
If you look on the
Looks like
left-hand
it's
side, there's a little
holding.
bit of like heat being held in some of those tiles.
Yeah.
Again, the intent of that was to
The white
put
paint's still
just
there.
a lot of extra stress.
We also
on
got
those
some
aft
of the
flaps.
orange like
are
we had
expecting
before,
the
so
forward
that's
ones too
interesting.
to see a
I still
little
don't
bit
know
of
what was
extra
causing that.
stress
If it was
as
like the
we've got
glue or
a
something.
little more propellant in our
No
header
idea.
tank, so the area right at the very nose.
Clearly,
of
they
the
don't
ship,
seem too
load test is
concerned about
complete.
it.
No.
and we're through that test.
There we go. And we just did that
Still
test at
39,000
Mach 7,
meters to go.
Just for reference there. So we are still going incredibly fast.
Just so great. Targeted landing.
All right, we
Yeah, it
are
feels like it
just
should be going
about
quicker by
3.5
now.
minutes or so away from our targeted landing burn. Again, we're expecting to try and see 2 of
I guess a
these
lot of
Raptor
this
engines
speed is
light for the
horizontal
landing
velocity
burn.
and not
Normally
vertical.
we plan for
yeah.
3, but we're going to give it a try with 2.
Well, they said they're only going to try the
Hopefully we've
relay
got
with
Ship
2
is
engines,
starting
which
the RTLS banking maneuver.
normally they do those with the sea level engines, and they didn't lose
And
any of
that
those.
right
I'm
there,
surprised they're
so
not going
we're
to try to do all
starting
3.
a banking maneuver, and essentially what that is when we come back to Starbase, or when we plan to come back to Starbase, the trajectory is designed so we'll essentially swing out over the Gulf and do a swoop maneuver to then come back to the towers for catch. And so we are.
You think people are ever going to
doing
fly on this
that
thing?
exact same maneuver as we head towards our
No
target
clue.
splashdown in the Indian
I
Ocean.
could see it just being like a cargo ship, and that
Yeah, and
would
that
be
call
perfectly
out there
fine
that
too.
we heard RTLS stands for Return to Launch Site. So definitely a pretty cool thing we're demoing here on the ship. You know, as in the future, we are going to be trying to bring the ship back to the
almost
launch
like it's
site.
going sideways.
It's going to be absolutely insane.
Absolutely. But of course, we want to test out these maneuvers, these principles prior to actually bringing the hardware back to the pad. This is the same reason why we were intentionally not trying to bring the booster back to the pad.
No, our altitude definitely is dropping quicker.
We're trying all these things out in
like
this
25.
developmental phase of the vehicle, and really proving what a test flight is.
Absolutely.
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
Still
right,
2
Gs.
Gs.
Dynamic pressure coming down, and I'd say we're in a pretty good bank right now.
Yeah, executing the power slide. We're about 90 seconds away from our anticipated landing burn. Clouds coming up, pretty sunrise on the other side of the planet.
That's a nice view. I'll give them that.
Starship is subsonic.
It is a very nice
and
view.
is on target.
Look how low the speed is now.
The crowd here
super
to
slow.
That call out letting us know that we are on target for this precise landing in the Indian Ocean. This will once again be a soft splashdown.
Okay, so if it's precise landing, then I'll bet you there's going to be a buoy out there with a camera on it.
Earlier, they are standing by to receive this ship. Once again, this is the first flight of our completely redesigned Starship version 3.
Yeah, and if you remember the suborbital flights from a few years ago, this is very much the same regime that we're in here. So we're sub 15 kilometers, executing what we call the belly flip maneuver.
Yes, serial number 8, the first belly flop.
Our speed almost
remember it well.
is slowing down. It almost like stopped decreasing for a second there. They might be hitting terminal velocity.
Just some really amazing views of the Earth as the ship is coming back home. Thanks, Starlink.
Yeah, we've got to be at terminal velocity now, or just close to it, because we're holding pretty steady.
Yeah, you can see the aft flap there making minor corrections.
Starship is turning for final approach to landing site.
Look
Here
at
we
that
go.
turn.
There we go. Minor corrections and a full turn.
Okay.
Yeah, Starship doesn't fly like an airplane.
You're gonna see it before me,
more like a skydiver.
My phone might die.
Full belly flop on the way down, using those flaps similar to ours.
I don't have a charger in here.
Change the path of the air over you. Coming up.
Put it on battery saving mode.
Again, going for a landing burn.
I mean, that's not gonna do anything.
2 of these Raptor sea level engines.
Because it's Discord that's taking all the power.
Oops.
Oh shit! Oh balls! Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, I didn't see it yet.
Nope.
Oh no.
Nope.
2 engines lit.
Oh wait, we had 2 engines light.
Oh! It looks like it did it. It did it.
It did it. Let's
Damn! Look at how freaking burnt that thing is.
Good shot time.
I'm waiting for the fireball. Oh wow, they had drones out there this time. They didn't have that before. Oh, that's a nice explosion there.
Damn. Did you see how burnt that heat shield underside was?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that was gonna happen. It's happened in the past.
Yeah.
Well, in case I lose you from your battery, I'm glad you're able to join for this.
I got 4%. I'm gonna go plug in. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
Just all of a sudden, they switched camera angles, and I was like, "Oh shit, that thing's so close to the water."
Yeah, and like we thought it wasn't gonna make it, but then they relit.
Starship delivered.
Yeah.
Absolutely. An incredible day for Starship.
That was crazy.
The first flight of that completely redesigned
You know,
vehicle.
the booster didn't come back, but
tell, the teams are incredibly
the
proud
ship made it.
of what we just saw.
Yeah, V3 definitely showed up. That was.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it to be a lot smoother.
Pretty happy crowd
Before I ever get on one of those damn things.
Behind me, I will say.
And that's also the other issue. They really need to
I've seen a lot
test
of people
atmospheric reentry
in a really long
before
time,
they do an
on
orbital
target
flight.
landing.
Or not atmospheric reentry, sorry.
Actually, let's
orbital
jump over. Hey, Tyler, how's everyone holding up in
ignition
Hawthorne?
before they do an orbital flight because they have to prove that they can deorbit it.
We're having a great time, Dan. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was another exciting Starship flight in the books, and we hope that you enjoyed those awesome Starlink views. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here.
Well, I mean, the
around
engines
the company.
relit. I would
So
assume
many
that they'd
employees have
relight in
contributed to the
vacuum as
Starship
well.
program as we continue to
I would
iterate and
assume
make
so,
progress
but I'm
towards a
also concerned that they
multi-planetary
only
future. So that
relit
wraps it up
2
for
out of
us here in
3 when they were
Hawthorne.
originally
Thank you
trying.
guys for tuning
They're
in.
supposed to have a
And back to you,
3-engine
Dan.
landing,
All
I
right,
think.
thanks. So just to recap,
Yeah.
we lifted off right at the top of our window.
Because they didn't lose
5:30
one of
PM
the
Central Time. We were
sea level
able to see
engines
the
during
booster,
flight, so
Flight
I don't know
33
why
of
they
those
wouldn't
Raptor engines get off
fly
the
them
pad
down unless they
and
saw
ascend
something in
over
their
the
data that
Gulf.
said they didn't
Successful
want to try
hot
lighting
stage
it.
separation. Initially lit
Yeah.
6 of those Raptor engines.
I don't
Lost
know.
one of the RVACs on the way uphill. And then the
Maybe they were
booster
more concerned
didn't
about
complete
losing
its
the
full
ship
boost back. Its mission ended a
during
little
flight,
bit early,
and they really wanted
but
to test that
landed
heat
in the
shield,
clear
so they
area that
decided
we
better
had
safe than
set in
sorry.
advance.
Let's
Once
test the
we
heat
were on
shield
orbit
so that way
with
if something
Ship,
goes wrong
we were
during
able to
landing,
get through a payload
burn,
deployment,
we lose at the very end
22
versus halfway through.
satellites, the 20 simulators, the
Yeah,
2 Dodger
could be.
Dogs, which successfully turned on cameras. We'll see if we got any more
We'll never
views
know.
from those. So
I'll
obviously
bet
stick
you
around.
in like a couple
Skip
days we're probably
the
going to get a lot
Raptor
more
relight, but made it through
footage of
re-entry on target landing in the Indian Ocean. You saw those views. Starship
Oh, yeah.
made it.
Oh yeah, we'll get all
Just-
those other
it's
camera
been a
angles and
long time
everything.
coming. We're really excited to see this vehicle fly, and there are several
We'll probably get a
more on the
bunch
way.
more
So
views
that's
from
gonna
those
do it
cam
for me up
stats.
here.
Oh, hey,
Send
my
it
old
back
boss is
down to
watching.
Kate and Jake and everybody who I hope
Oh, that's
is
cool.
at least a little
Hi,
bit
old
excited
boss.
down in Star
Hey,
Factory.
Bill.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely insane down here. We would, of course, want to thank the fine people of Cameron County.
Joined us right
including
at the end.
the residents here at
I don't know how long he was
Starbase,
watching for,
as
but he
well as
said,
the
the
Coast
host of
Guard,
the
the Federal
broadcast looks very
Aviation
young. Is SpaceX
Administration,
having a take your
the
kid to
government
work
of
day?
Mexico, and of course the
Which is a
Australian
reference
Space
to
Agency.
one time I went to a
Yeah,
job
so
site and
honestly, just
they
huge
thought I was so
congratulations
young they
to
thought
all our
someone
teammates
had took their
here
kid
at
to work.
SpaceX. And
That's
everyone who's
hilarious.
supported, the
What's
Starship
crazy
mission
is that
just
we're
in general
older
here.
than
It's
some
been a
people that actually
massive
work for
effort.
SpaceX.
Really
We might be
incredible.
older
Yeah,
than some of
there's
these
a lot
hosts
of
here,
people
and
that work really
that's
hard
and probably a
to
lot
make
of the
things
people in
look
that
easy,
background.
so
And I don't
shout
really want
out
to think
to
about
those
that too hard.
teams. Now be sure to follow SpaceX
Yeah, no, definitely
on
not.
X for updates.
All right,
and
all the
more
excitement's
exciting
over.
views that
I'm
we
signing
didn't
off.
get to
I'm
show
gonna end
you
the
on
stream.
today's
So
live
thanks
program. I have a
for
feeling we'll see some
watching
pretty
and
amazing
everyone that
stuff
watched.
come
Thanks for
from,
joining me, Rich,
the,
and
those demonstration
we'll catch you later.
satellites that we
Good night, guys.
able to show some initial footage
Good night,
of.
y'all.